Today on All Out Brick, we are finally going to be taking a look at the Barraki. We're going to build the sets, review them, and then give out a score. Let's get started. Hey everyone, I'm Christian from All Out Brick. Welcome to another Matanui Monday. As always, the best way to tag along with us every week is to subscribe and turn on notifications. This week, we'll be building the Barraki, which were some of our villain sets from the 2007 product line for Bionicle. The Barraki were 6 warlords that commanded each of their own armies. They were the 6 rulers to the League of 6 Kingdoms, which attempted to conquer the Matoran universe. They were once taken to the pit by our old pal Botar, only to escape to the ocean above, mutating in the process into the form we see them in here. Taking a look at the packaging, we've got some pretty interesting canister designs here. They're a little bit on a slant here, and it gives it a very different, fresh look. Shout out to some physics. The bottoms, which are, I guess, really what we're used to being as the tops, reminiscent of the Rakshi, are colored for each of the Barraki inside. We've got this nice transparent blue canister design. Looks awesome, cool little battle pose on the front. And we've got the set name, along with the designation for ages 7 to 16, the set number, and the amount of pieces. The backs of the canisters really don't have a whole lot going on, but they're colored to match each of the Barraki and the lids. They are also going to contain the 6 different Barraki on there. We've got the one that's inside as the big featured action pose, and then the other 5 are shown in small circles on the left. We've also got a sneak preview of the squid launcher function that we'll be getting into, of course, once we build the Barraki sets. Alright, let's go ahead and unbox one of these guys. It's going to be pretty simple, unlike the Toa Mahri. There's one slot here, one slot here. We got to cut them open. So I'm going to just try with the old fingertip. Oh, it worked. Other side here. A little bit tougher. This one stuck, so I'm going to call in my favorite brick separator, Lifeline. And it cuts right through it. Alright, so now it looks like the top is just going to either twist or pull off. There we go. So it just violently pulls off. Boom, we've got some parts inside. Just dump it out. Nice new parts. Alright, some cool little parts in there, huh? And then, of course, got some instructions. So these ones look like they're vertical, and then they flip to horizontal on the inside. See what we got in the back here. Some Toa Mahri and Barraki advertisements. Bionicle.com advertisement, really. Lego Club. And a nice little advertisement for the Barraki. I believe we saw something very similar in the Toa Mahri booklets, so nothing too crazy here, but we do get some pretty interesting packaging, all the pieces inside, and then the instructions. The Barraki are completely new to me, and after the Toa Mahri, I've got pretty high expectations. Will they keep 2007 on its path to glory? I don't know. Let's build them and find out. Alright, so 45 minutes later, we've got all 6 Barraki completed. Really fun builds. I think the first thing that I want to say right off the bat, the variety is so great, and it really shows when you're doing all the different builds. There's so many different build techniques used throughout, and they're just super fresh. It feels like each set is completely its own, and obviously with the look, they all look super unique, super cool. All of their own are like original designs almost, but they blend together. So I think they really achieve that look aesthetic part very, very well. The variety is amazing. The new parts that they included too, obviously we've got the mask parts, which are my favorite. They just look so cool. They got these different organic details, high details in all of them. They've got different colors and different molds. So awesome to see all of this. And they're great. Of course, there's other new molds throughout the Barraki sets, and those are really awesome as well. But, you know, those masks just stand out to me. They're amazing. I love the one that's got the 3 eyes. Boy, it is just so cool to see some variety like that. Speaking of, you know, being great to see something, I think what the Barraki have done here, it's like a brand new, fresh take on Bionicle. I don't think looking at the early years of Bionicle, and even into 2004, 2005, maybe even 2006, I could see something like this happening, and just this look, it feels very organic. It feels very underwater. I think without a doubt, if you took anyone who's never seen a Bionicle before and you said, look at these, Where do you think they live? Bet you they're going to say underwater. So they really pulled that off. The look just feels so fresh, and they also feel like they blend in with the Toa Mahri, and that's really important. I don't think we should overlook that, because when you're looking at the complements to each other from the 2007 year, the Toa Mahri, awesome sets. And then we look at the Barraki, and it's like, yeah, they fit in. Like, they definitely feel like they're belonging in the same storyline, same plot. They got similar kind of, design styles of all the variety that we get to see. And I just think that they do a great job of fitting into this 2007 line of what we've seen so far. A little thing, a nice little shout out for these sets is they got some pretty cool callbacks with the parts. And if you've seen some of our previous reviews, you'll know how much I like it when we call back to, previous things on Bionicle, little, not like Easter eggs, but just callbacks to old parts. They're all over the place with these. We got some dark gray Rakshi feet. Those are awesome. We've got some Toa Takanuva arm pieces. Those are awesome. There's just so many small little callbacks that really just make you feel like you see the growth in Bionicle, and you're seeing all this culmination going on, and we're seeing it more and more in these sets, and I just love it. You have so many parts available to you. No, we don't need everything to be a brand new mold. Yes, we're going to need some, and a little bit just to spice the setup a little bit, but we don't need a ton, right? We can use so many of these old parts, and that's what they've done here. We've got brand new colors. And then it's just very nice to see them use what we've got and give us something so brand new, because as someone who, would tinker around with them a lot when I was younger, I don't think I ever could have built something like this. The parts were available to me, but I don't think I really could have done this. An important part for our villains are that we got a little bit of a menacing look. I think they give a little bit of a menacing, not the most. I think, the Paraka, I think, are going to outdo them in the menacing department, but these are still pretty cool. I mean, they're definitely villain sets. I don't think you'd look at them and be like, are those heroes? No, they're definitely the villain sets. They got that vibe to them, but, maybe kick it up a little notch, Lego. They could get a little scarier. The Barraki, as you can tell, pretty nice fan of them myself, but there's some issues that we need to address. The first, and it's unfortunately just a pretty big hit to these sets, is that they feel a little bare. Now, I know a lot of people love the Barraki. I was hearing all throughout these reviews as we were going, oh, the Barraki, wait till you do the Barraki. I gotta be quite honest with you. Little bit of a letdown with how bare they are. Some of their chests are just blatantly open. The arm limbs are just inexcusably at this point open. Now, if this were an earlier set, like, early 2000s, yeah, I could excuse it, and I would, but at this point in Bionicle, we should not be seeing the issue that there's too bare. I mean, yes, these sets are like 47 pieces each. Really, we couldn't have added like 10 parts each and made them so, I mean, they could have taken, the mantle of best villain. And it just boggles my mind that we took such a far step back when it comes to just completing the model, the finishing touches. Yeah, the base is there, the foundations are there, and they're awesome sets. But that little extra that we've been seeing from some recent sets just isn't here with the Barraki, and that's disappointing. The only other notable issue that I have with the Barraki are that the function's just a little hit and miss. It's the squid launcher, and it's pretty cool. I love the concept behind it, where you load the little squid ammo into the launcher, and then you pull it back and fire it. Unfortunately, though, sometimes it gets stuck, sometimes it'll fly, sometimes it'll just dive straight into the ground 5 inches in front of the model. It's a little hit and miss, not consistent enough for me to really prop it up. However, I am going to really applaud what LEGO did here, because for the first time in, a while, really, this is a brand new function that's limited to just our villains. I mean, when you think back to some previous lines, 2006, the Paraka and the Toa Mahri both had the Zamor Sphere launchers, right? Think back to 2005, Toa Hordika and the Viscerac. We had the Rotuka spinners. 2004, yeah, our Toa were a little different, but the Matoran had the disc launchers. That's what the Vaki had. So I think when you really go back and look through Bionicle, generally what we get for a function is that year's function. And with 2007, it's pretty cool that we got some brand new function. It just would have been nice and, would have really tied a bow on it if it were a little bit more consistent. Overall, the Barraki were pretty nice sets. I really do like them, but they definitely could have gone a lot better, and maybe my expectations were a little too high just from hearing so much praise, but they are really cool sets. They bring us this brand new vibe that I don't want to say Bionicle is missing, because we have seen sets bringing, this freshness to the table. So these definitely, do that as well. I just feel like they're such a great complement to what we've seen so far in 2007. Obviously, at this point, the establishment of, the underwater is here. They've got some brand new part molds that are absolutely incredible. The face molds that they did for these, absolutely unreal. They almost don't even feel like something that we could have ever seen previously in Bionicle. They're just so brand new, so original. Really like what they did there. There's some shortcomings in just finishing off and polishing the design and just, those last little tidbits, but they're still pretty good. If you wanted to buy one of these Barraki sets for yourself, they're a little bit over average, I would say, for a Bionicle set. In used condition, they're around like $25 each, and in brand new sealed condition, fluctuates a little bit depending on which one you want to get. But if you average all of them together, it's around $90. So it's not terrible. Yes, expensive, but it's not terrible. I think in used condition, you're going to get a pretty good deal. The only thing I have to say is this guy right here, Elik, buy him in new condition, or be prepared to have a lot of, lime green joints in your spare parts bin. One of mine, absolute travesty, shattered on me when I went to snap it in. I know, the lime green joints, we knew about it. I wasn't careful enough. It shattered. Fortunately, though, I had some spare ones in my loose parts bin. So I think watch out for that. We know at this point the lime green joints are susceptible to failure. But make sure you got some spare ones when it comes to Elik. Otherwise, I really didn't see any issues with buying them in used condition. For the most part, I did get these in used condition. A couple of them brand new sealed, which is an awesome experience. Just to kind of juxtapose what it's like to have the brand new parts and how that assembly goes in the squid, ammo condition versus used. But I think you're completely fine with going in used condition. In terms of a score, I'm going to give the Barraki an 8.0. Like I said, really great sets. I am a pretty big fan of them. But they definitely have a lot of room for improvement, and maybe that's just a bit nitpicky on my end because there's so much great things that come out of these, and the molds alone and the vibe of them alone, the looks, that's what really gives it that 8.0. We have a function that's a little hit and miss, and we have models that really aren't polished, but it's still an 8.0. So that just goes to show you how much I think of these sets. I think if you're someone that's looking, for Bionicle sets to get, yeah, put these up because they just have such a cool, unique look to them that it just divides it up, especially if you're looking to get into this later half of Bionicle. Say you collected a lot of that early 2000s stuff. This is a, pretty good one. I think for the price, you might be able to find some better ones, but they're just a really cool new vibe to it. Mahri Nui, we're continuing the Ignition trilogy. Just pretty cool sets. So, if you're into it, yeah, I think they're absolutely worth it. So 8.0, that's your review. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel to be the first to see all of our future content. Also be sure to check us out on our website and on our Facebook and Instagram pages. Until next time, stay bricking.